Hello, fellow seekers. Welcome back to the Law of One Spiritual Advice Podcast. My name is Elle, and I return to read some Law of One material and share with you my perceptions on it. So, today I come to you to explain how it's impossible not to serve. Everything you do, think, and the way you be and exist is service, and there's just unfortunately, no way around that. There are various distortions of serving the Creator, since all is the Creator, and that is what we're going to talk about. So let's get into it. Before I do, the oneinfinitecreator.com is where you can find links to all this material, where we get this from LL Research, who provides us this for free, and we thank them for that. So, session 1813 from the Law of One, Ra states, "All serve the one Creator. There is nothing else to serve, for the Creator is all that there is. It is impossible not to serve the Creator. There are simply various distortions of this service." End of quote. So that is real short and easy and to the point. And although some things may sound short and easy, usually those seem to be kind of the most complicated the more that you really sit down and try to think about it. And let's go into it. So it's impossible not to serve. I suppose what needs to be known here is that, there's this idea of unity consciousness. So what is unity consciousness? Well, it is the idea that we are all one, whether you think there's a Big Bang or not. Well, even if there is a Big Bang, what was before that? The one infinite creator, the essence of the creation of everything that you can see, touch, and feel, and everything that you cannot see, touch, and feel. Every single thing is the creator. An intelligent infinity is the way that I've had it explained to me in this material. Intelligent being obviously noting consciousness, and infinity noting the mysteriousness but the never-endingness of the Creator and knowing ourselves. And before I talk about the finer points of serving in everyday life, I did want to talk a little bit briefly about how there are the two paths that they explain. There's the service to others path and the service to self path on our way back to the Creator in this third density experience, where we are going to make that choice of service to others or service to self. I think what I need to explain better and more often is that the service to self path is serving the Creator and is experiencing or experimenting with lessons of love, although they are just self-love, and a type of love that seeks to separate itself from everything, from itself. I mean, the service to self path, Ross says somewhere else, what is the first separation? The separation of self from self. And you have to understand that the service to self path, they are doing love. It seems like service to self sounds evil and that they are not loving. However, it's just their version of love in their head is different from what maybe you kind of think of as love. You think of love as a compassionate, loving, understanding the other entity as a unique portion of the one Creator who has infinite worth. And I mean, I suppose maybe that the service to self, I'm not that, so I'm just giving you guesses here. But I suppose the way that I've heard it explained is that the service to self path and the entities on that path are attempting to teach others the way that they feel is appropriate. So they honestly feel that the service to self path is appropriate and is correct, and they honestly feel that using the heart chakra is erroneous, that reaching out to other selves. They really do feel that to manipulate and to enslave others is serving them in the ways of service to self. They're teaching them the ways of separateness. The way that I understand it is sort of like that pyramid structure with the power at the top working down and out, is that those who are willing to learn the lessons of service to self, separateness consciously can move themselves up the pyramid and then anybody else who doesn't want to consciously learn that is being enslaved, and they deem enslaving that person as a sort of lesson that, well, here, you better learn how to control and separate others, or you will be controlled and separated, eat or be eaten, I suppose. So how I understand that they think about it is that they truly do believe that they are serving. So I think that's just really important to keep in mind, that everybody out there, whether consciously or not, and whether on the path of service to others or service to self, are all serving in one way or another. Obviously, with the service to others, it's a little bit more obvious, where I think the difference might be is with respecting free will. With service to others, you're more respecting the time and pace and free will of others to seek at their own pace, and you try to work within those boundaries, while essentially understanding that if unity is true and you are a portion of the creator and all you really have control over is yourself, well, then you can attempt to change yourself and better yourself, and that in turn betters everybody else, and you can kind of remove your attachment from attempting to make the world better, because as you make yourself better, you are making the world and, well, the universe better. So bringing this back to the people who I'm speaking to, which is my service to others friends out there, such as you, fellow seeker, listening to this, I would think what we need to do is to reimagine what it means to serve. We live in a universe of oneness, which sort of means that everything is a holographic projection of the one creator, which means that no matter where you look, what you see, what you don't see, literally anything that the mind can perceive is the creator. There is nothing that is not the creator. If you consider that, whether you're sitting doing nothing and contemplating, or you're cutting the lawn, or you're petting your cat, or you're at work, or you're doing whatever it is you're doing, you are serving. It is impossible not to serve, because the essence of our universe, to my understanding, is that the creator sort of created this separateness, this illusion of separation, so that it may better know itself, so that through our free will choices, we can be creative in our free will choices and feel things in a unique way that maybe no other entity in the universe has felt things before. And that is your gift to the universe. That is your fruit. That you shall know them by their fruit. But that is the fruit of your harvest, of your being, is whatever sort of unique path that you're going down and taking is a gift to the creator, because it is knowledge and wisdom and love that maybe hasn't been experienced before. And if you're saying, well, obviously somebody's experienced things the way I have, they may have to a 99%, but that other 1% is your uniqueness and the way that you felt and thought about it. And maybe you think about something, or maybe you act in a way that is just a slight variation of difference from how most people think, or most people do things, or every entity in the universe has ever done it before. And you just have that slight variation, that slight tweak, which makes a better perfection, if you will, and that is a blessing to the creator, to everyone, to the universe. So I think what I'm getting at here is you need to reimagine what it means to serve. There is quality over quantity. Measuring is of the illusion. You can't measure your intention. And intention and outcome is not always the same either. Outcomes can vary, whereas your intention to serve remains pure. So you tweak various elements of the best way to get your intentions across in your actions, but since we're often dealing with different people and situations each time, the action needed to fulfill the good intention always varies depending on who and what you are attempting to serve. We always want to look at the outcome of our attempts to serve and measure ourselves against perfection. At least that's what I find that I do. And then I'm hard on myself when the outcome isn't exactly, as I intended it. Like, obviously, if I'm going out there, I'm intending to do well, I'm intending to serve, I'm not intending to harm or cause confusion or be a stumbling block in somebody's path, but sometimes I do that. So does that mean that my intention was wrong? Does that mean my intention was folly? Absolutely not. I mean, my intention to serve somewhat remains the same. It may change a bit through each experience, but my intention to serve somewhat remains steady, and then the actions needed to manifest that intention can vary because each person varies, and each part of the infinite creation is infinitely subtly different, and therefore there is a infinitely subtle different actions that you're going to need to take to sort of manifest good intentions. So I guess what I'm getting at here is to measure your sort of progress, if you will, based on your intention and not necessarily on the outcome of your attempts to serve. And I guess, I know if I'm thinking of sort of being the devil's advocate here, I've heard the saying that the pathway to hell is paved with good intentions. I like that statement because it sort of demonstrates that if you are somewhat too naive and not re-examining your intentions and re-examining each time you attempt to serve as to maybe are your intentions as pure as you thought. I think that is a good thing to always be going back to and reimagining. Are your intentions as pure as you sort of think they are? Because often you'll find that you are actually coming from a place interior where you're projecting outwards onto others, a sort of need to be fulfilled or to have your service recognized by someone or to have like a good outcome. But if you are to take into account the aspects of free will, it is always up to the individual you're attempting to serve to use their free will to act in whatever manner that they feel appropriate. So you may have good intentions and you may attempt to serve, and it might even be good actions that you took, but still the outcome isn't as good. And so I suppose you just need to be kind to yourself and know that your attempt to serve wasn't folly. Your attempt to serve was good, and just because the outcome maybe wasn't exactly as you had hoped, you are not the savior of everyone, and all you can do is try. All you can do is attempt to share the beingness of yourself as you know the Creator as to yourself, and as you share that and radiate that outward, that is your service. The outcomes of what happens after that, somewhat irrelevant, other than just to take them into account, to re-examine your own intentions and see if maybe you can, act in a more wise way that manifests your intentions in a more precise manner, in a way that, the outcome is, I suppose, somewhat better. But even if it's not, that's okay, is sort of the moral of the story on that one. Okay, so just wrapping up again here, I would just want to throw in the reminder that it is impossible not to serve. Your unique experience is your gift, is your fruit. Your thoughts, feelings, emotions, and ideas, these are your gift to the Creator. This is your gift to yourself. You are the Creator. This is your gift to the universe, the unique experience that you live and the way that you interpret things and things go through your brain and the way you decide to love and what level of love and the level of desire that you have to serve. All of these beautiful types of things are your gift to this creation, and so you need not be concerned with doing a wide variety of service. I mean, it's good, it's encouraged, it's honorable to serve widely as you can. However, we just need to always keep perspective in mind, in that in a universe of oneness, it will always be quality over quantity. To serve one is to serve all. Even one is you, so sometimes you are wanting to serve others, always seeing others, other selves. Well, you are self as well. You are self. You are part of the equation. You must take care of yourself and be a good example of what you think other selves should be too. There is no separation between you and them to a certain degree. So, all you really need to concern yourself with is yourself, and then attempt to serve as you will. And whatever you feel that is appropriate, that is amazing, because there's really no wrong way to do it. Like, everything is the creator. You're serving. Good for you. You're a powerful being, and your desire is part of your power. And I think I just want to say, don't let other people hijack your desires. I think if you realize that your desire is a desire to serve, then you can see service everywhere. We often get confused from media, from ads, from friends, from just life and work in general, which somewhat wants to point our desires in a certain direction, which, generally speaking, tends to be away from service. I think that's a constant thing that we're always coming up against, which is like the illusion of separation, convincing us that, anything other than service. So I've had a podcast about this before. You could probably look back, and for the hijack your desires, they're trying to hijack your desires. I did go into this in a bit more detail, but I just want to end on that, stating that you are a powerful being. You recognizing your desire to serve and working on the purity of that desire and developing that as you, in the slow, long process of seeking the truth and knowing the self, that is a really important aspect. And that, desire is power. I don't know what else to state other than that, just to keep it simple. And I think what I'm trying to connect here is that we get very anxious and we overthink a lot about the perfect way to serve and the perfect way to be. And I think that we need to detach from the wanting to be perfect and just realize that service is now, service is in front of our face. The nature of a holographic projection of the one is that it's like a computer game. No matter where you go, what you look, the lesson will find you. It will be there, because the nature of the universe filtering through your mind can only filter things in a certain way, and it will filter them in a way through your mind which will lead you to the lessons that you need to learn and the epiphanies and the things that you need to know. So it's almost impossible not to also learn the lessons you need to learn. It's a beautiful creation of oneness, and no matter where you go, where you look, what you seek, that is the creator. Thank you guys for listening. I hope you enjoyed this podcast. If you could maybe give it a like, share, subscribe to the channel. Just hit 1111 subscribers. Woohoo! And so thanks for listening. If you support my service as I attempt to freely give this service, I don't like to put things behind a paywall, right? Nobody wants to pay for knowledge and inspiration. I always thought that was really important to keep that a free service. So I do that, and then I sort of rely or am just grateful that you may want to freely give to me, and I really appreciate that. So I have the oneinfinitecreator.com. You can scroll down to the support section, and I have a button for PayPal and another one for the Patreon. Really appreciate both of those, as they allow me to share all this information more widely. It gives me a little bit more time to somewhat create all of this sharing and this information, and I'm very grateful for the support that you guys provide already. So thank you so much. theoneinfinitecreator.com. I love you guys. Take care, and we will speak again at the beginning of next week.